It's Dragon Ball time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're going to have a look at the SH Figuarts Bulma from DragonBallZ. More precisely, Journey to the Planet Namek is what this figure is called, and it's her outfit, which she had on, she not only on the journey to Planet Namek, but she also wore this on Namek the entire time. And we know Bulma, she had a lot of different outfits, a lot of different designs through the entirety of DragonBallZ mostly. And this one is like one of the more classic one, and probably one that she stuck to the most, so I'm really happy that we got a figure out of it. So let's have a look at what this one delivers. Got pretty large feet, so she does stand on her own pretty well. Does also stand at about 13.5 centimeters to the top of her head, which means we are going up to, sorry about that, that was my knife, 5.2 inches tall. Size comparisons. Here's Jalter, Naka, Michelangelo, the SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Bulma, Kid Gohan, Vegeta, and Darkseid. Iconic is what I would call this outfit. I'm sorry for yelling, but just trying to get my point across. So this is like the, I think it's like the definitive version of Bulma. In terms of look, not talking about the figure just yet, but in terms of the look, because I also feel like this was the last time that she was really involved, you know, going to Namek with everybody. Well, once they arrived in Namek, she didn't really do that much anymore, but still, she was one of the main factors, if not the main character, next to Goku in the original Dragon Ball. And in Dragon Ball Z, just like many other characters, she just kind of like, yeah. She was still around, but you know, she wasn't doing much anymore. Anyway, overall look and detail of the figure. Love the face sculpt, really nailing the look of it. Have the big blue eyes and a little bit of aggressive, a little bit of arrogant smirk on it, and you know, I like it. It's a good look for her. She does have the earrings painted on there and also molded on there. The hair, it looks fairly plain. There's not really much going on, and that's kind of like the story with this figure. Problem with the Payne I have with the red headband. I mean, it's small, but they definitely missed the mark over there. There's some bleeding in it, and it's very much unclean. Still a small detail, but however, considering that there's already not that much paint on this figure, you know, could be better. But let's move down to her entire vest thingy. I don't know what I should call this. This is like I mean, it's Dragon Ball fashion, right? Has its own kind of charm, has its own version of how a vest is supposed to look like. We have the big shoulder pads, and there's some detail in it, a little bit of wrinkles, but for the rest of it, it's just like yellow. It's just yellow. I mean, at least it's painted from what I can tell, because if you go down to the skirt, this is soft plastic, and as such is not painted. Has a little bit of a color difference between the chest area and the skirt, but you know, it's not that big of a deal. And the arms are also just wrapped in something that seems like a black shirt, and there's some wrinkles in it, but not much more detail. And down to the fists, and it's Ponce time. Actually, not really. First and foremost, she doesn't really have that big of a butt. Where's the fan service in this? Boo, 0 out of 10. But yeah, I mean, it's not really Ponce, it's just like her, whatever this is under her skirt, I guess like some leggings or whatever. And down to it, actually, we have some orange boots where the tips are a little bit more shiny, which is like the only part of the figure which is somewhat shiny. The rest of the coloring is matte, so you know, I don't know if that's intentional or not, if it's accurate or not, because it's just like a small detail. But hey, you know, it's a little bit of difference in it. But overall, the figure is fairly plain, but it does feature a great look, and it does represent that look pretty well. Now for the articulation, I feel like they made some weird choices, especially when it comes to looks. But let's start with the head. It does move back and forth, does tilt side to side, obviously blocked because of the hair, and does go all the way around. And there's, from what I can tell, nothing in the neck. It's like sometimes they do it and sometimes they don't. Now, one of the big issues I have with the looks is the shoulder joint over here. Because as you can tell, there's a ball that has a fairly long pack that doesn't even fully go into it. Now, to be fair, after the review, I did give it a good push, and the pack actually did go all the way in, give it a nice pop. So that's on me. I only learned that after the review. And then another ball kind of in the chest area. It's a little bit like a Figma, but not as good, which is weird because honestly, for the most part, Figuarts is usually better in articulation. So first and foremost, the ball joint in the chest area doesn't really rotate around that much. So you do have just a little bit get out of that. It's just a weird thing. While it moves back and forth, a lot more than it moves up and down, and it's just a weird in general, like I said. And then you have this small, yeah. So anyway, I'm just gonna stay on this one. It does go up and down, so it's articulation-wise, it's okay. Also, you can swivel it around, obviously. But the main problem I have is why do you have such a small ball joint in there and not make a bigger one that it kind of lines up with the arm, right? Why does this just sticks out like it's so far? I'm sure you're not gonna see it as much, but it's just a weird design and it doesn't really accomplish much. Then you have a ball hinge in the elbow, classic stuff. Another ball hinge in the fist, goes up and down, swivel it around the chest area that's rotating around. And then we have another thing. The chest area is fairly nimble, goes back and forth, side to side, and doesn't really go around. Well, actually, yes, if you give it a good push, never mind, I was wrong about that. Then for the hip part, you can rotate that around. It's just on the ball, and also, that's why I'm holding on to it, because it likes to disconnect a lot. There you go. It's not the best connection, as you can tell, it's just the ball that is on the pack, which is connected to the legs. I mean, movement-wise, it's good. I don't have an issue with it, but stability-wise, this figure leaves some stuff to be desired. The legs move forward, move out to the side because the skirt is cut up, and does move to the back. You can also rotate it on the ball up there, and then you have the knee joint, and the boot is not on a swivel, unless it's frozen. I was wondering. Nope, did not make a swivel. And you have the big ball for the foot, goes up and down, side to side, and you also get a toe hinge. For your accessories, first and foremost, I'm going to show you the 7-star Namekian Dragon Ball, which the lights are reflecting off, but it looks nice. I'm going to keep it in my hand because if I leave it on the table, it's going to roll off and be gone forever. Well, not be gone forever because it's pretty big. Anyway, you got face sculpts. You got the smiley face and the kind of surprised face with the open eyes. And my camera wants to focus on the face in the back. Anyway, happy face, and this one which has the mouth kind of just going like yeah, yeah. And then you also have like this surprised face, which is almost the same, just a little bit different, but still very nice expressionist faces. You have a backpack that just says Bulma. For the rest of it, it is white. Has some metallic on there. Doesn't have a pack to connect to it, but you know, you just kind of drape it over the arms, and there you go. You also have this safari hat when you go on an adventure, and it's just like brown plastic. I don't think it's painted. It doesn't look painted. And I like how they did it though. You have the entire head sculpt, which you just connect to the neck and whatnot. So it's not like fumbly bumbly where you put it on her head and it just falls off. So I'm happy with that. This is like a fanny pack, something like that. Has a nice zipper, which actually very cleanly painted, considering how small of a line it is. It's metallic, stands out from the yellow. Then we got a Dragon Radar, if I can get that. It's so small, but it is nice. It has some Dragon Balls located on it. If I follow it, I can find the actual Dragon Balls and wish for, I don't know, money. Open hands. I mean, I know, world peace, pointy fingers, and you have another hand which is dedicated to the Dragon Radar because it has a pack on it, because the Dragon Radar has a pack hole in the back. Wow! Final thoughts for Bulma. As I was saying earlier, I think it captures the look of the show, and that's like, to me, honestly, that's one of the most important aspects of any figure. If it doesn't even look like it's supposed to, then what are we even doing here? So, it does that. The only thing I could say, I would have really liked to have shading in the hair. Mostly in the hair. I don't really care that much about her torso and whatnot, but the hair would have really been elevated if there would have been a little bit more work put into it. And that's kind of like the theme of this figure. Like, if you have a little bit more shading and a little bit of better parts in the shoulders that look nicer, and that's about it. You know, it's just like small details. So I'm so like, you know, it could have been better if it had this and that. But at itself, at the core, the figure's still pretty good. So, as such, I will recommend this one. I think it's still a pretty good Bulma release. And, I mean, we've gotten 3 so far. This is the only DragonBallZ Bulma we got so far. And I think they really chose a great design for her and really brought it to life. So that's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Bulma once.